I'll leave the specific question about the foul to my colleague, Commissioner Engelbert. I mean, I other than as a fan, obviously, it's nothing new in basketball that there's sort of welcome to the league.
The WNBA is on fire right now, and it's got nothing to do with the scoreboard. Commissioner Cathy Engelbert is facing the biggest storm of her career, and it all traces back to one player, Caitlin Clark. It started when Phoenix Mercury forward Alyssa Thomas put her hand on Clark's throat during a scramble for a loose ball. No foul was called in the moment. But the next day, the league flipped its decision, hit Thomas with a flagrant 2, suspended her for a game, and fined her $1,000. Here's where it gets messy. Thomas came out swinging, saying she and her teammates had received death threats, and that Engelbert stayed silent while it all blew up. Engelbert eventually responded, but by then, fans were already asking the same question. Why does it always take this long? Then came another, and Engelbert says comments attributed to her, suggesting players should be grateful and on their knees, were pure inaccuracy. She denies ever saying it. Add it all up, and you've got booing at public appearances, fans calling for her resignation, and a league stuck in tense contract talks with players just as it tries to expand into new cities. So is Cathy Engelbert on thin ice? The league says growth is at an all-time high. Her critics say the cracks are showing. One thing's for sure, the WNBA has never had this much attention, for better or worse.
Proud on, Andy, excuse me. And that's touching, because last year, there's Bonner trying to get position, Clark being aggressive, Bonner not happy with it, she walks away.
Rising from college stardom to the WNBA, Caitlin Clark has become the biggest reason millions of fans are watching women's basketball. Her exciting style, record-breaking performances, and star power have helped the league grow faster than ever. But there's another side to the story many people aren't talking about. Away from the spotlight, controversy has continued to build. Questions about Clark's safety, unfair treatment, and questionable officiating have followed her for months. Then one shocking moment pushed the drama to a whole new level. During a recent game, Clark was hit by a hard foul that many viewers believe crossed the line. The viral footage shows her falling to the floor in clear pain, leaving fans furious and demanding answers across social media. The biggest surprise came afterward. Instead of calming the situation, reports claimed WNBA Commissioner Cathy Engelbert described the play as part of the game, a response that sparked even more criticism from fans and basketball analysts.
Minutes gone by here in the second quarter, a 41-38 Fever advantage. Clark, defended by Hell, lost her footing. Kick out to Boston, 3 doesn't go.
Something is boiling inside the WNBA right now, and it has nothing to do with wins or losses. This is about trust. This is about safety. And right in the middle of it all sits one name, Cathy Engelbert. If you've watched even a little basketball this year, you already know the story starts with Caitlin Clark. She's the most talked about player in the sport, the one selling out arenas, breaking TV ratings, and pulling in fans who never watched a WNBA game before in their life. But with that spotlight came something else. Target on her back. It all came to a boiling point on June 24th. Caitlin Clark was fighting for a loose ball. Nothing unusual. Fans slowed it down, zoomed in, and asked the same question over and over. How does something like this get missed live? The pressure got so loud that the very next day, the league reversed its own call. Alyssa Thomas was hit with a flagrant 2 foul, suspended for 1 game, and fined $1,000. Now here's where things really start to unravel. Instead of the story dying down, it exploded. Thomas came out swinging at the league itself, saying she and her teammates had been receiving death threats since the incident went viral. And she pointed the finger directly at the commissioner. Thomas told reporters, quote, "We still have yet to hear anything from her. As usual, she remains silent, and that's unfortunate when our lives are being threatened." 2 hours after that statement dropped, Engelbert finally responded, releasing a message condemning hate and defending player safety. But by then, the damage to her image was already done. Fans weren't asking why she spoke. They were asking why it took so long. And if you think that's the end of it, just wait, because this is where the story gets even messier. Just weeks later, Minnesota Lynx star Napheesa Collier sat down for her exit interview, and she didn't hold anything back. She flat out called the WNBA's leadership the worst in the world. Not bad, not weak, the worst in the world. Those words hit like a bomb across the entire league. Then things got personal. Collier claimed Engelbert had privately told top players, including Caitlin Clark, that they should basically be on their knees grateful for the platform the league has given them. When that quote hit the press, Engelbert pushed back hard, standing in front of reporters ahead of the WNBA Finals and denying she ever said it. Her exact words were, quote, "I did not make those comments." There is a lot of inaccuracy out there through social media and all of this reporting. But by that point, denial or not, the story had already taken on a life of its own. Fans started showing up to games with real anger. Engelbert has reportedly been booed at public appearances, something almost unheard of for a league commissioner. Social media lit up with hashtags calling for her to step down completely. And here's the twist nobody saw coming. This isn't just noise from angry fans online. Even people inside the game, coaches, and team leadership have started speaking up about the pattern of physical play toward Clark that seems to go unchecked far too often. So how does someone facing this much pressure survive? Well, that depends who you ask. Supporters of Engelbert point to numbers that are honestly hard to argue with. Under her leadership, the WNBA has hit record attendance, record television ratings, brand new expansion franchises, and landed some of the biggest media rights deals in the league's history. By almost every business measure, the WNBA has never been bigger or more valuable than it is right now. But critics see a completely different picture. They argue all that growth means nothing if the league can't keep its own players safe on the floor. They point to the officiating controversy, the death threats players have received, and what they call a slow, hesitant response from the top every single time controversy hits. To them, it's not about money or ratings. It's about leadership showing up when it matters most. And just when you think the drama can't stack any higher, there's more happening behind the scenes. The league is deep in tense negotiations over a new collective bargaining agreement with players, and there's a real fear of a lockout if it isn't settled before next season. On top of that, two brand new expansion teams, the Portland Fire and the Toronto Tempo, are waiting in line, but their rosters can't even be built until that new agreement gets signed. To try and calm the storm around officiating, the league recently announced something new. A multi-stakeholder task force built to review how referees are trained, evaluated, and held accountable going forward. It sounds like a small administrative move on paper, but insiders say it's actually a direct response to mounting pressure from inside the league itself. That pressure has a name too. Lynx head coach Cheryl Reeve didn't hold back after a controversial call left her own star player, Napheesa Collier, injured during the semifinals. Reeve came right out and called the officiating in that game malpractice, saying the three referees working that night should never have been allowed near a game with that level of physicality. When a head coach uses a word like malpractice in public, that's not a passing complaint. That's a signal that trust inside the league has already cracked. And Engelbert herself hasn't exactly denied the problem. Standing in front of reporters, she admitted the league is, in her own words, misaligned with what players and coaches want from officiating right now. Read that again. A sitting commissioner, on the record, saying her own league is not aligned with the people playing and coaching the game. That's about as close to an admission of failure as you'll ever hear from someone in her position. But officiating isn't the only fire she's managing. Behind the scenes, there's a business situation brewing too. The Connecticut Sun, currently owned by the Mohegan Tribe, are reportedly being courted for a possible sale, with a competing offer on the table that could see the franchise relocated entirely to a market chosen by the league office. Engelbert has stayed publicly vague about it, only saying there's no decision made yet. But relocating a franchise while your league is already under fire for player safety and leadership is not exactly ideal timing. So where does this actually leave the WNBA? Right now, at a genuine crossroads. On one side, a commissioner who has overseen historic financial growth, record attendance, and some of the biggest media deals the league has ever signed. On the other side, a growing wave of players, coaches, and fans who feel like all of that growth has come at the cost of safety and trust. And somewhere right in the middle of it all sits Caitlin Clark, the biggest star this league has ever produced, caught directly in the crossfire of a leadership crisis that shows no sign of slowing down. Will Cathy Engelbert survive this storm, or is this the beginning of the end for her time running the league? Right now, nobody actually knows. What we do know is that every decision she makes from this point forward, officiating, franchise sales, contract negotiations, all of it is going to be picked apart in real time by players, fans, and media watching her every move. One thing is impossible to deny, though. The WNBA has never had this much attention on it, for better or for worse. And whatever happens next could shape the direction of this league for years to come. If this story kept you hooked, make sure to like this video and drop your opinion down in the comments. Do you think Engelbert should stay, or is it time for new leadership at the top? Subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next, because this story is far from over, and the next chapter could change everything.